Rise of Industry Guide. This is a guide to the video game Rise of Industry. So I'm going to begin with the upper left corner. You see over here it says menu. Uh, we have load game, save game, mod, manager, settings, exit to main menu. It's all standard stuff. Uh, and then we've got the map name. Over here we have help panel, which I never use. And then we've got the query tool. I don't remember how it worked. So over here we've got map labels, and I'm going to show you some of the important ones. We've got the traffic map. I'm going to zoom out to see if you can see something interesting here. And I apologize, my computer's a little slow right now. The game is frozen. So I'm going to show you the traffic map, the pollution, heat map, and then we're going to look at truck queues, which is, I don't know if you see the cursor, product bubbles. Those are all kind of important. The ones that are up on the top half are not so important. So the traffic heat map looks like this. Looks like I don't have any obvious traffic issues. It looks like there's some over here, and I do occasionally go through and fix traffic. It's almost always because of a warehouse. This is the pollution heat map. There is a way to clean up the pollution. The gray means there's no pollution. And I'm guessing that the blue has probably the factories which clean the air. The red might be ground pollution because it looks like it's here in the water. And the blue might be air pollution, but I'm not sure. Okay, so we've got product bubbles. They are useful, and you hit the Alt key to turn them on. The truck queues, you see over here with my paper mill, it has the number 99 above the paper mill. That's a truck queue. That means that there's 99 trucks waiting. Efficiency is the 200%. You're probably going to have 100% for a lot of yours, but that's how you can identify them and fix them. All of these other things like the resource names, you really don't need so much. And I'm going to try the traffic heat map over here. You can see that there's a queue, and it is related to traffic. I did a double road, it's 4 lanes going around, and there's still issues getting in and out. And over here, there's a lot of traffic. The best way to fix it is going to be to build more warehouses. There's already plenty of warehouses. So what I might have to do is build a train depot and knock some of these buildings down. Okay, so that's kind of important, but you don't really use the layers very often. So I'm going to hit the Alt key, and that's what happens when you hit the Alt key. So if you want to see what's going on, you hit the Alt key. Over here we have state. This is products that I am importing. So you click over here, and then you click on the product you want to import. It's going to have to be iron, gas, oil, copper, and coal. There's plenty of water, not a lot of fish. There's plenty of wood, there's plenty of sand. You should not have to import them. But the issue with the oil, the copper, coal, iron, and gas is that at some point there's not enough resources, and you're not going to be able to find enough to support your industry. So your industry is going to slow down. Global market, it shows different products. It shows a dollar value. for those products. And you notice it has tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So you've got tier 1 products is something like juice, and a tier 3 product is something like a dollhouse. Over here we have logistic routes. I never use this. To be honest, I'm not even sure what it is, and I'm going to have to look at it. Shop overview. So the goal at the end of the game is to make sure you supply all the shops, because I've already got them maxed out. And sometimes I go through and, like, here's a shop that isn't getting anything, and here's a shop that's not getting anything. Here's a shop that's not getting anything. So what I do is I go through and I make sure that they're being supplied as best as possible. There's no reason why they shouldn't have sand. There's plenty of sand. So I need to go and fix the issue with the sand for that shop. There's going to be some towns where I'm sure that I'm doing better, and it ain't that one. Okay, over here we have what's called the recipe book. It's okay, but it's not that useful because let's say you want to build. Okay, so we got the car seat, and over here is the car seat, and you go and you find all of your supplies. But if I want to build a car, you got to figure, well, where's the car? I mean, how do you find the car? Oh, okay, automotive factory, but it's not. It's automotive mega factory. It can be a pain sometimes to navigate, and I don't remember what the specific issue is, but there is an issue when you get to a part like a light bulb, and you're going to be, well, where's the light bulb? The headlights for the cars are in the home goods factory, which, it takes a. I happen to know it's here because I checked earlier today. But there's going to be things, there's so many different products, there's going to be something you're going to look for, and you're not going to be able to find it. And it's a little bit of a pain that they don't have it sorted alphabetically. And it's not that necessary because you can go to the factory and see what you need right at the factory. So over here you have production. It's okay. It's not that useful. Unfortunately, my game is frozen right now. But it's going to show you some production numbers. And in some cases, you can go through and you can see if there's a problem with your, oh, come on, don't do this. In some cases, it will tell you if there's a problem with your production. But in some cases, it's like over here, it says last month's efficiency. But I need to see a graph. I need to see if it's been producing continuously for the past amount of time so that I can see if something dropped off. Like, I don't know if this drop off is temporary or if it's something long term, but I'm just going to assume that it's probably been around for a while. There's probably a shortage of buttons. So it is helpful for production, but it's not entirely helpful. And there is another feature that I wanted to show, but unfortunately, my game is frozen. Usually, once it starts freezing, I just loaded the game and went to eat and then came back. Once it starts doing this behavior, it usually is going to continue. And I really don't have a lot of applications running. This doesn't happen very often, but I will say that my uh, place is pretty big. And obviously, the bigger your map is and the more factories you have, you start to run out of memory. So over here, you can see that this should be at 200%, but it's only at 100. So I can go and fix it. You can see it works perfectly. Little bit of a delay. And then over here, you can turn it on and off, which obviously the red should be on the left and the green should be on the right. And then over here, this probably goes to the building. So if you have an issue where you want to turn something off, that's where you're going to go to. Okay, we're going to look at the budget. And I apologize again that my game is slow. But you can see that there's something going on. It looks like something dropped off over here. You know what? I have the feeling that it wasn't recording data because the game was off and I just restarted the game and that's why it's not showing a proper graph. So I'll have to cover this later. And over here we have different buildings. I'm going to look at the farms, for example. And you can check to see if there's something that's not operating properly. Okay, you exit over here. Okay, over here it says prospering. It's giving me an indicator of my status. Over here where it says road construction, you have messages, some of which you can interact with and some of which you just read. It'll say that there's a bonus like traffic congestion or oil production is higher, or you might be offered a contract where you have to deliver products and you get a bonus from that. Over here you have alerts. For example, it's saying that there's a problem with this building over here, which is clearly fishing. Oh, I wonder if the fish are gone. I don't see, there's a fish over here, but it looks like there's no fish. So that's a way that you can fix certain problems. Pathing alert, can't go back to origin. Sometimes it's not true. So, sometimes the pathing alert is incorrect. And then the production alerts. Obviously, I've got 900 production alerts. It's very excessive, and the game is slowing down. So my game has locked up again. I'm going to talk about the bottom menu. But first, we're going to talk about what you see on screen. We've got orchards, and we've got some sort of a farm over here and a farm over here. We've got something that looks like it collects water. There's a warehouse with a train depot and an annoying noise. No idea what that noise is for. So over here, what do we have? I never use this. It says mini budget overview. I haven't been using it, and like I said, it's possible that in the sandbox mode, it doesn't do anything. And it looks like this is all one menu. Over here, you've got for building roads, one-way roads, train track, road, dirt road. You've got bridges and tunnels. The tunnels have to be built through a hill, and you just go straight across. It might take me a while to find a tunnel, but you can see over here there's a slope where I'm pointing with the mouse, and then it goes to where the farmland is. If I remove that farmland, I could build a tunnel going across. And I don't use tunnels very often, but they can come in handy. For example, you would take this and just build it through like that, which for some reason it's not letting me do. And that's how you build the tunnel. Over here you've got warehouses, and there's two types. It's basically that the roads are in reverse order. There's one, you got the road going in and the road going out, and you want to make sure there's going to be a queue, so you want to have um, the road going in nice and long. See over here, I've got a little tiny road going in. I could have used the other warehouse, and the entrance might have been near the back, and the exit would have been over here. These are gatherers, which is, I know the terminology is incorrect, but it should say like natural resources or resources. So you've got sand, water, coal, copper, gas, iron, the lumberyard, oil, water well, fishing, and the offshore oil drill. The offshore oil drill I haven't used. I haven't looked around for oil. It took me forever to find fish. It was very difficult to see. So over here you have different types of farms. You've got crops, and notice it does give you a suggestion. It says wheat, hops, potatoes, and vegetables. You've got livestock, orchards, plantations, and irrigators. The plantation and crops are going to be a little bit confusing because you're not going to know that cotton comes from a plantation. I mean, you're just going to assume it's a crop farm. There's only one type of each factory. The warehouse is the exception where there's two different types. And it's just the road entrance. So you've got all of these different types of factories. The other thing about the warehouse is you can upgrade it for trains, zeppelins, and boats. And and the trucks come standard. You've got all of these different factories. These are so you take what's called a gatherer, which is natural resources, and you supply your farms with water, for example, and you're going to supply your industry. You have pollution to remove the air or water, clear the air or water, and then you've got what's called a mega factory, computers, food, automotive, and they take a lot of resources and they're very slow to construct something. Over here we've got terraforming. You can flatten, raise the land, or you can plant trees. You're going to use the plant trees when you build a lumberyard. The duplicate I never use. We've got a bulldozer. The undo tool, I don't remember if I use it in this game. And the layout mode, I really don't know what it is. So I'm not going to worry about it, and you're probably not going to use it. And then you've got the pause and 4 levels of speed. So that is the majority of the game. When you see something in red, that means that it's not producing. Green means, this means it's near the end of the production. You see over here, we've got some that have partial production. Over here, we've got a contract auction. I recommend you watch my video about contracts to see how they work. Sorry about the annoying noise. I'm going to see if I can turn the volume down. My computer is so slow right now. Like I said, there's nothing running. So here's an example where I built a canal. And this is the warehouse. I gave it the name South Seaport. And the idea was I would bring things from the north to the south, etc. Not a really good naming convention. I prefer to put the name of like wheat farms, the type, either the town that you're supplying or the type of resources in the area, such as flour or wheat. This is a town. The towns expand. If you look around, I have some towns that have expanded around roads that I built, but I don't know where those towns are. There are seasons, so you're going to have winter. It's a little bit annoying. You don't want to build too close to the towns. This is what the lumber yards look like. This looks like cattle. See, you got some Zeppelins flying around. Notice that the cargo is on top of the Zeppelin. Sometimes I see the trains, but not that often. I'm going to go over here and I am going to turn all of this off. And I'm going to do the traffic heat map. You don't want traffic near your farms because the pollution will reduce the production for the farms. So obviously over here you see that there's rocks and trees. The natural resources, if you go to the right map, it will show you, maybe you have to have show resource names. And then if you go where there are natural resources like copper, you cannot see the copper because I have a building on top of the copper. But I know that I've got some places that might not be collecting. If I scroll around the map, you might see a natural resource. Oh, there was one. I just saw one. And it's right over here. We've got oil, couple oil places that are not being drilled. In fact, it's really strange. Why are the oil rigs gone? That's a gas pump. So I've got oil over here that I'm not collecting. I should have built the oil rig over here so I can collect that oil. And over here you see we've got some traffic congestion. When the traffic's not moving, then you can't produce. And I'm going to advise you, you see you got the Zeppelin. The Zeppelins will drop off a lot of goods and it will cause traffic congestion because the trucks are too small to move all the goods. So this is going to be something that I'm going to do in a future video. Okay, so that's it for this guide. And there's a train right over there going by. And I've got lots of different videos that cover this video game that you can watch. There's at least 15 different videos about all aspects of the game. And I have a discussion forum. It's at cheapbooks.cc. Go to video games, go to business management, and it should be in there, Rise of Industry. And I am the owner of cheapbooks.com. Go to cheapbooks.com to search for books and textbooks. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.